So in this segment, we're going to be talking about Elon Musk being in huge trouble here over the mass sackings that they've done at Twitter, among other things. And Elon Musk apparently saying that a bankruptcy isn't off the cards. So if we listen to what Victoria Valentine has to say about it, she covered this on BBC. The sackings part.
Fast asleep. I mean, I suppose if they manage to get any sleep at all.
Talking about the emails, so be about the UK staff as well.
These emails started coming in. It is utterly brutal. So all of a sudden, even if you didn't even manage to get to the office is closed, the passes, staff passes are revoked, access to emails has gone, access to servers have gone, access to Slack has gone, the internal system that everyone uses. All of that has gone. You are entirely cut off. And what we're hearing from reports out in the States and our reporter in San Francisco is that maybe up to 50%, half of the workforce, gone overnight.
And you know, the context is that Twitter wasn't. I don't think Twitter even made a profit for many years, and Elon Musk paid way over the market value for Twitter. The other issue is that it was partially a leveraged buyout, so he borrowed money as well in order to get the buyout. So he needs Twitter to make money, because once those debts are called in, he's going to be in big trouble. So that's kind of a lot of the context behind the situation. So he's firing a lot of staff. The problem is, you know, he's facing potential legal action over this.
No notice period to work, no redundancy process. It's just chop. That's it.
Nada. And this is where Elon Musk is really heading towards dicey territory, because if you don't have those things, you know, you are therefore, you know, you could potentially take out a sort of a class legal action, because you do have rights. You do have rights that are protected under state law and under federal law.
And they have done that, and I'll go over that in a sec.
And there is supposed to be a notice period, for example. Where we think he might be going with this, and this is certainly what he did with the big execs that we saw him firing last week, was that he said that these were for cause redundancies, i.e. you haven't met my expectations, therefore out you go. And what we've seen in the last week is he brought in a whole bunch of people from Tesla and a whole bunch of new metrics that people were supposed to do and supposed to be able to perform, and it was generally based on the code-based system of Twitter. And so people...
And I find it interesting that if he's put in these new metrics and things like that, and he hasn't given the people the chance to be able to meet the new criteria he set out, it does sound like he's gone for wrongful dismissal, that he's changed the standards and not allowed people to meet the new standards. That's a problem. So we find out Twitter is facing a class action lawsuit. So this article from the 4th of November, same with the video, that Twitter sued by former staff as Elon Musk begins mass sacking. So he's already facing legal action. You've got this from Matt Navarra saying that Twitter was asking for some of its fired workers to come back. Some were laid off by mistake. Some were let go before management realized their experiences needed to build new features that Musk was planning. Like, this is how embarrassing the situation is. And we go over to Zoe Schiffer, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Elon Musk just told Twitter employees, so this tweet from the 10th, telling Twitter employees that he's not sure how much the run rate the company has, and bankruptcy isn't out of the question because he's massively overpaid for this, and I don't think in his heart he doesn't want to run it. We find out that a gentleman called Yoel Roth is leaving the company, leaving Twitter. So you know, he's one of the top security guys at Twitter, so he's the head of trust and safety, and he was tweeting about how you know, Twitter was doing better at dealing with hate speech and things like that. He's talking about it down here, which is update on our efforts to combat hateful conduct. We're not only mitigated the recent surge in hateful behaviour, but have reduced impressions on this content in search. So, you know, he's trying to deal with a lot of the hate content, I think, on Twitter. But he's going now by the looks of it. I think that's all pretty much confirmed now. So it's going to be interesting to see what, you know, given the fact that he's fired a load of staff, he's asked a load of them to come back by the sounds of it because he needs their expertise. What's he going to do? Because bringing in Tesla employees is one thing, but they have no idea about Twitter. Let's be honest now. They can know about code, but they don't know about Twitter. They don't know how, because Twitter, you're dealing with people. You know, people are the tweeters. And the problem is he doesn't know how to deal with that. He's just not as intelligent as people thought he was. The whole thing with the blue ticks, and anyone can get a blue tick if you pay $8 a month. We saw, you know, loads of fake tweets going out with politicians' names being used, with Elon Musk's own name being used, Nintendo North America being used, with Mario putting his middle finger up in a picture. And it makes Nintendo look bad. It makes companies and politicians look bad, and advertisers are running away from that. They don't want to be a part of it. And if there are no advertisers, that means you have to make money through direct revenue. You have to make it through subscription service. No one's going to pay $8 a month for Twitter. Let's be honest now. The whole reason you have the verification tick is for people to prove that, when that person tweets, it's them doing it because they're famous, or, a journalist or a famous journalist, things like that. There's a reason why the tick system exists for verifications, and having the system where you can just pay for it. Because there's nothing, say for example, right, if I wanted to do an impersonation of this Matt Navarro guy, I could make it like Matt Navarro 0 or something like that, right? Put a blue tick on it, no one's going to know. You could do that with anyone, let's be honest now. It's just ridiculous, and I think he's in big trouble. He's in over his head here, and he has no idea. And no doubt there'll be some Elon stands and stuff like that in the comments here saying, "Oh, you got it wrong. Oh, Elon's a genius." Is like, no, like, there was a time where I thought he was a smart guy, but the idea that he's some sort of Tony Stark figure is ridiculous, because Tony Stark actually has a brain. Elon Musk doesn't. Elon Musk doesn't know how to run Twitter. Let's be honest now. He's scrambling around, no idea what to do. The only thing he knows is he has to do massive staff layoffs because the company is hemorrhaging more and more money and the revenue's not flowing in. And the fact is he's facing a class action. We saw this with P&O ferries this year in the UK, so I don't know what the situation is going to be like for the American staff, but for the British staff, if they were, depending on how many were fired, if they take him to a class action, they could probably get their redundancy pay that they're owed from Twitter. But I don't know in America, depending on what state you're in, you got federal laws, you have state laws. I genuinely don't know what the rules are like in America. They're very much less pro-worker than they are in the UK, so it should be interesting to see what happens from here. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.